Synchronicities will bring you everything you want and need in your life. Good timing will line up for you in a steady stream of wonderful people, experiences, and things. And when you trust in this and you know that things are always working out for you and that you'll always be taken care of, you'll always have what you need, then you notice these synchronicities happening. And the more that you notice them and appreciate them through your awareness of them happening, they continue to happen over and over again and keep getting better and better and picking up speed until the synchronicities in your life are every moment of every day. I just had an experience the other day where it was just such a wonderful flow of synchronicities in my life where I was feeling really good. I was in a really good spot. I was walking on this beautiful coastline, these headlines in California on the Mendocino coast, and there was wildflowers everywhere. It was so beautiful. And I was just soaking it in and enjoying it. And then I just had an idea to go get a treat somewhere, I really like my treats, And so I went and I got it. I was looking around town and I thought this one bakery I was going to go to there, and then I realized it was a cannabis shop. It was called the bakery, and I guess pun intended on that. And so I went around the corner and there was this coffee shop, and I was like, okay, I'll try out the coffee shop there. And the coffee shop was just a quaint little small coffee shop, and I got a little coffee cake and went and sat down, and there was this beautiful woman sitting right behind me, and I was like, oh, she's so beautiful, like I want to talk to her and say hi to her, and I was feeling a little bit shy. And then I sat there and had my coffee cake, and my friend called me that I texted earlier that day, and he said, I'm coming out to Mendocino right now, and I'm going to meet this guy with these ocean view houses that he had built. And so he said, do you want to come? And I said, yeah, let's go. It's a fun adventure. And so I'm sitting there and I'm doing some writing processes, some journaling about my shyness with this woman, just to like process it out, because I was feeling some energy going on inside of me and I wanted to calm that down so that I could talk to her. And so I was going to meet my buddy pretty soon, and I got up to go leave, and this woman turned around. She was at her computer and she turned toward me when I got up, and so I was like, I gotta say something. I said, you're really beautiful. And she was really kind, and thank you. And we started talking, and she is building and has built already a really successful business in a really similar way as I have been dreaming of and looking at building and researching it, and has built a really successful business in this. And she ends up, she has a boyfriend and lived in that town because she had moved there to be with her boyfriend. So I wasn't even like, it wasn't about an attraction anymore, but I understood all of a sudden why this had happened. This attraction had happened because this had been something that I've been asking for, to meet more people, more business-minded people, more people that were doing what I wanted to do, that lived really awesome lives. And we connected, and I got her Instagram, and we've been talking some, and she said that she's happy to answer any questions or guide me toward resources that would help me in this business. And so that's a synchronicity that lined up. And then I went and met my friend, and we went and looked at these houses, and I didn't quite understand what was going on, but there's this man that has built there 4 different really beautiful ocean view houses, like from like right on the beach basically to overlooking it. Just extraordinary houses. This really kind man that he really was so happy to show us these houses because they're a work of art. And I've been practicing my own vibration of abundance and holding this feeling of abundance in me. And it was so interesting to not only meet this woman that had built a really successful business, but then to meet this man that was really successful in building houses and had built these beautiful houses that day, meet them both in that same day. And so I was feeling just elated because of this, and I was really excited about how things were going and how things were coming together and working out for me in this way. And then after all that, that was already exhilarating in itself. And like the next day or 2 days afterwards, I'd moved to a new town, another coastal town right there, and I was just hanging out on this beach. There was this beautiful redwood log that I like to go hang out on, and I was sitting there, and this beautiful woman walks up and sits next to me there, and she apparently didn't see me sitting there. I always wear natural colors usually, and so she didn't even notice me, and she was like, "Oh, there you are." And we started talking, and she travels like me full time and does social media as well. And so my point is, these are just a few examples that happened to me in a few days that were just one after another that was really exciting for me, because I just connected with this whole series of people that showed me what I'd been practicing internally, and what we are internally, what our vibration is, what our emotions are, what we've been thinking plays out in our external world. And when you know this and you see this happening in your life, you see the demonstration of it happening in your life, and not just the same old repetitive things that have been happening again, but you see these changes, and you see how the synchronicities and the timing lines up these new things for you from that from that new perspective that you've been holding. It is such an amazing feeling, and I want all of you to be able to experience this. And part of it is trusting in this process. Like, if I tried to figure all that out and make that happen on purpose, it wouldn't have been possible. I just kept myself in a really good place. I was just appreciating where I was in the moment, enjoying feeling good and this beautiful land that I was on. And then those things came together for me so that I was led from one to the next to the next. And that is a really wonderful feeling.